Welcome back, everyone. In the last video, we built a player dashboard. This is essentially a separate player panel provider in Filament, and we also implemented a simple dashboard plugin for a game list. And we also displayed a couple of options for the players to sign up and opt out of the game. In this video, we are going to implement announcements feature for the player dashboard. Essentially, what they are going to do is, as soon as they come into the dashboard, they are going to see the latest announcements and take necessary actions from there. So let's get started. To build this feature, I think the game list feature can be in a separate page instead of being on the dashboard, because I believe that announcement should be something that's on the that should be on the dashboard first. So in order to do that, let's get started with the feature. First, we need to go into the providers, filament, and player panel provider, and we can see that this has its own pages and resources. Let's just first get rid of the top navigation, bring it back to the old way, and now what we are going to do is going to filament player, and we have our game list widget, and this is a widget from where all the game details are showing up on the dashboard. So in order to add our own custom dashboard, we are just simply going to create a dashboard page and make this extend the filament dashboard page. And we can come back to the panel, and instead of the base dashboard, we can say dashboard should be from I think I might have made yeah, this should be under player. So we'll say we'll create a new directory first, and then move this into here. Add filament player pages. That's cool. Now let's get back. I will say dashboard is add filament player pages class, and just to test if we are getting it, we need to make a custom view for this. So we'll go to views, actually we can, I think this should be completely automated in filament 4. So let's just quickly look at the documentation. Okay, so it says create a new file at app filament pages dashboard. So in our case, it's players pages dashboard, because we only want it on the player dashboard. And then finally remove the original dashboard configuration dashboard class from configuration file. So essentially I think what happens is, so you have this discover pages in, and then this is linked to filament player pages. So essentially you should not be doing this. That's my assumption. Let's try to load. Okay, we still have the same, which is fine. And now I want to build a custom, inject a custom component into this dashboard page as well. So how about we do mount and do a I think we have already done this. Guest announcements. We can grab that and say public announcements. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so it is getting called, so that's for sure. We get 3 announcements, and now what we want to do at this point is essentially display these announcements in the dashboard somehow. So to do that, I think I have to create not flux, sorry, live wire partials. Well, let's see. I know that there is a view which you can do as filament player pages dashboard, so we'll have to create this, and we'll create a directory for filament player pages, and then we need a file for dashboard.blade.php, and if I do, let's see here, so let's see what happens in this situation. Okay, so we are loading the my custom dashboard. I believe that there should be something like x dot dash filament and then pages. Oh, there is panels page, and then probably we could do let me quickly take a look at this. And what we're trying to do here is, because if we override this, we also need that dashboard to show the existing existing data for all the widgets and all the other stuff that you might have. So in order to do that, we could possibly not override the dashboard itself, but keep it as it is, and then probably have a widget and then customize the view of the widget. So just like we have a game list widget, we'll probably have a game player announcement widget. So let's try that approach. I think that should be cleaner. So artisan make filament widget, and we can say it's a custom. Not okay. Let's try this. Widget name is player announcements widget. This is custom. Would like to create this widget in the panel? Yes. We would like to do it in the player panel. I would like to create this widget in the resource. No. And then resources views is fine. Okay, so now if we go back and check in resources views filament player widgets, we have a player announcements widget, and then what we need to do under here, game list widget, no, I'm sorry, player announcements widget is we want to override the mount method and essentially do the same thing. So we have public announcements, and this is going to be this announcements, and we're going to copy the existing from livewire. So here we go. Okay, now product type declaration, I think we could, it's safe to say it's a collection, but that's fine. Now, so this is the blade view for this widget, and what we can do now is basically iterate over all these. So for each announcements as announcement, we could display some sort of filament section, and this has filament section heading, and I believe this also has a body. I'm not sure if it's body, heading, and I think it's a description. Yes, awesome. So in order to now display the details, we could do, let's open our table plus real quick. We want to open our SIC database. We have our announcements, we have the title and the description. So we can simply do announcement and then title, and for the description we could do, remember this is a HTML, so we need to pass that, and then I think it's description. Okay, let's refresh this. We're not gonna see, oh, there it is. Actually we can, we see it down here, and we might need some spacing here and there, but that's fine. Interesting. I think this does take classes. Or does it? Well, no biggie. What we can do is wrap it in a div. Come back down here. I think we might be missing the filament section end tag. I think that might be the reason why it was not. So my4, oops, my4, maybe py4. Let's see if our dev server is running. Stop and rerun. Go. Okay, so it might actually require us to wrap it in a div. And format it a little bit, and then we can say py4 and y. Maybe 2 and 2 is fine. We can get rid of this part here. Alright. Ah, interesting. We still don't see margin supply, so we can just inspect here, bring it down, back here. So if you see, this is our div. We have py2 my2. Okay, so essentially it should have been applied, but I've recently learned that in filament 4 you have to add everything that you're overriding into your theme. So we do not have a theme. That is interesting. Now it's gonna be tricky because we have flux in here, which probably we shouldn't use. Yes, we should not use flux. Let's just go ahead and see, get into the panel configuration. I think it's under navigation. Users, maybe. Nope. Let's just theme, creating a custom theme. Okay, it's under custom styling. Okay, so before we run that, let's do get status, get add. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. We are doing it for the player. Okay, so it says filament theme is created successfully. Action is required to complete the theme setup. First, add the new item with config.js. So we should copy this, come to with config and add this. So let's just put everything in its own line. And then put this. Oops. Okay. Next, register the theme in the in the panel provider. So I know about this. I think the steps are the same as before. So we could do somewhere back here. Finally, run npm run build. Okay, so npm run build. But remember, I think if I come back here, css filament player theme.css. So here is where you would add all your. So let's see, here we are in the theme. So if we go back one, it's filament, go back another, it's css, go back another, and then do resources. Oh, actually this already has everything under player as a source. So if you see views, filament, so it has everything under player is going to be compiled. Okay, so I think we don't need to do anything else. So let's come back to the package.json. We'll rerun. Okay, so hopefully this shows up. There we go, we have our styling now. Now remember, we can also do a grid change under the filament widget. So I think this option is called column span, and we can do 2 probably. I don't think it's column span, my bad. Let's go to widgets, sorting of the widgets, customizing the dashboard. Maybe it's under the stat. Well, it should be under overview, so let's see, there should be, if it's not columns, let's see, filament widget grid. So column span full, it makes it full. That's what we know. So if I do full, okay. I wonder if I could check what options this does take. So let's actually do that. Column span, and we want the widget column span. There we go. This is exactly what we were looking for. So let's just replace this with this. Doesn't seem to take up our styling. Honestly, this is fine. I don't really mind, but I was just wondering if we can add a heading of some sort to the widget. Can we? Yep, I think there's a title, and we can say announcements. And before we refresh the page, I think let's just go ahead and we'll remove this for now. Actually, if I make it final, I think no, maybe abstract. There we go. Okay, so that gets removed. The reason I've hidden it for now is because we want to migrate the same logic to a different page, so that's fine. This is for the dashboard. I do not see the title being displayed. Oh, I think this is for the dashboard and not the widget itself. We could manually add it. So this would be something like h1 announcements. All right, there we go. So now we have our announcements. Let's just go ahead and create a new separate page. So this should be under resources. It's not a, is it a single? Yeah, I think this would be called as a singular resource. So that's what they are called in the new version. So filament page, we'll call it player game list page, or player upcoming games page. In a resource, no. Yes, that's fine. Okay, so we have our page. Now we want to implement the table, so we are going to say implements has table, and then this should also use interacts with table. Once done, we could come here and now copy entire logic, so just cut it, go back here, paste it there. Honestly, we don't need the bulk actions. Let's go here. Okay, this is called table, and I think I need to do this as this and then table. Let's come back, go to this page. There we go. So we have our upcoming games. We might want to write some logic here to only show the upcoming games and not all the games, which makes things simple. We can also do navigation icon is hero icon. I really love the enums that they did for the icons though. So do we have anything for sport? Let's just go to heroicons.com. Nope. Okay, so maybe something like play. Yeah, we'll just put that for now. It doesn't really matter. It's just to make it a little bit stand out, the same thing, otherwise the text was too flushed to the navigation. So now we have our dashboard for the players, we have our upcoming games. We should probably also do some sort of player sign up form similar to this page. What would the contents of the player sign up page be? So if you let's duplicate this and go back to admin, and then go back to the player. So essentially what we're trying to do is show the same form to the player. So this is how they will be signing up themselves as a player. So we could start by saying PHP artisan make filament page player sign up page. This will be for the player. Would you like to create this page in a resource? No. Yeah, that's fine. And again, because this implements, that's the form. So we need to have has schemas, and then I think this is use interacts with schemas, and we need to have a private array of data. Actually we don't need this, but we need the schema itself. So public function, let's call this player registration form, and what this is going to take is the schema from filament, and it's going to return the schema. So we are going to schema return schema, and then this should have components, and now you can just write your form. So we could steal that form from the admin. So let's just steal that, go back to the player sign up, paste it in. We have all that's required, and then we also need to do the same thing that we did for the table here. So we're going to say this player registration form, and we need an action to kind of save it. So let's go back to this. So this should has actions and also use interacts with actions. If I remember, the form itself should have actions. I think you could do something like this. So let's say action make submit handle player registration, and then we could do something like this and say $this data. Oh, I also forgot, we need to do something like state and then pass this data. Is that how it is? Well, let's actually take a look. So if I go into schemas, no, probably under it's called state path. Oh, you can do public, so I'm sorry. I think it's one of those things that I've always found it that making it private seemed to work well for me, but we can make it public. Maybe they changed it in the v4, so we can get rid of the mount method and we can make it color is success, maybe. Okay, so we need to add a icon for this. Yeah, there we go. This is what I was looking for. So we can come here and say navigation icon is hero icon user plus okay, we have this. It does look ugly right now, but that's fine. There we have it. So now it's just a matter of saving the data to the database. We could also, I mean, you should always validate this data, but here is something where I would validate the data. But after validation, you could do something like, technically you don't even need this because, and I, because you could do it directly in here, but if you want to have a separate, function, so that would be, that makes it easier for you to understand. That's fine. So here is where I would do player equals player create, and you could do this one by one, or so like I did, and then you could do notification make send, we definitely need to change that, but that's fine. Color is success. This is just for a test run. so now we need to kind of redirect them somewhere, and we also need to make sure that they do not sign up again and again. And you could control this by either saying that we can create or update the existing data, but you know, uh, there's another way in which you could do this. So there is a function can access, and here is something you would say something like return player where doesn't exist. So if you go to the players, okay, so you can see that we use the email address which is unique, and we could do something like we could check if the email that the current authenticated user has and if they are not in the players table, only then they'll be able to access it. So if I refresh, I think, okay, so now I'm getting 403, but we could do something like players upcoming page. Yeah, so now essentially what happens is when this returns false, this link is not even available in the navigation. So to just show you, I think this is the account that I'm logged in with. I'm going to just quickly delete, go back here. Why is this giving me 404? Oh, that's because I am no longer I do not exist. So we could do something similar for this page as well. So okay, so now let's sign up. And we need to redirect them back, but I still don't see these upcoming games. Let's get rid of that, see what happens. Okay, now I'm able to see those. We can figure that out, but there was something else that we were okay. So we can now get rid of this game list page. We no longer use. We have the announcement widget, we have the player sign up widget, and we should probably do something like this redirect, and you could do player panel provider, and I think get URL. Oh, PHP get URL to the panel provider. Or I think we could do simply like, we could call the dashboard page on the players and then to get URL. So I think we gotta try it once more. We'll remove that entry, come back here. Okay, this situation, I think we need to figure something out here, but that's fine. So I think that's the exact reason why I had the can access in here. So it was saying if the user this should be the opposite, so this should be exist. That's right, my bad. So here we go. So let's just go ahead and remove that. And now we have redirected back, so there's no error. We have our success notification, and now we can view the page, upcoming games. That's it for this video, guys. In the next video we'll try to clean up many of the things on the admin side as well. Try to provide some extra actions for the admins, make it a little bit easier, and we'll dig more into this project as we go along. Thank you so much. Thanks for sticking by.